guys, it's your girl Lex, of course, checking in with Boss Talk with Lex today. And we're here on Winning Wednesdays. That's right, Winning Wednesdays. And I have Rima Johnson in the building with Online with Rima. She's a master lash expert. I mean, she has a large, beautiful store in the city of Buckhead. That's right. And you see it here. A beautiful lash store where you can buy all your lash supplies and products from. And it's located in Atlanta, Buckhead to be specifically, ladies. And this store is, I mean, absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. I mean, speechless. Like my type of luxury. Black girl magic. And this is Miss Rima here. I'm going to let Rima go ahead and introduce herself and give you a little bit. Who is Rima? How can you find her? What's her website, her Instagram, everything that you need to know about Rima? I'm going to let her do her introduction.
Hi, guys. I'm Rima. I'm the owner of Lash Print Supply Store, Studio, and Academy. We currently have 2 locations here in the city of Atlanta. I've been in the industry about 10 years as a lash madam. I love what I do. You can find me online at Online with Rima across all social media platforms. That's Online with Rima, Rima.
That's right. You heard it from Rima herself. Online with Rima. Make sure you guys follow her because I stamped it. The Boss Talk stamps it. Who else in the city needs to stamp it?
Hey.
Nobody, period. Thanks. So Miss Rima, I got you in the hot seat today, of course.
Okay.
And you're an idol in Atlanta. You're winning, and I want to honor you today on Winning Wednesdays. So you're someone that I look up to. You're someone that entrepreneurs look up to, beginning lash techs, even existing lash techs. Like, you know, you're somebody that I want to be at that level one day, you know. So I want you to tell us, how did you get started with a black lash store, like the first black lash store, to be exact, in Atlanta?
So yes, we are City of Atlanta's first lash supply store. So of course there are other companies and brands that have sold lash supplies within the City of Atlanta over the years. However, there hasn't been an establishment that's specifically tailored to lash technicians. All of our supplies cater to the everyday lash tech. We have products from beginners to intermediate to advanced. You can come in store, try out our products, ask questions, talk to the cashier, and we just created a whole new experience for the lash industry. Before, when I started back in 2015, you had to order your supplies through a website or Amazon. So you waited a day or two before you got your supplies. So, you know, just seeing that need here in the city for other lash techs. Atlanta is dominating for the lash industry. The girls are killing it, but just wanted
killing it. Yes.
Right.
It's a lash artist on every corner, and they're all killing it.
Like, they're all killing it. Right. I just wanted to provide something that we didn't have, and that was a supply store or home. You have beauty supply, you have nail supply, you have so many different suppliers, but a lash supply store was something that I seen the city was missing, and I was so excited to deliver it.
That's amazing. I love it. It's such a beautiful place, and congrats on
Thank you.
all of your success.
Thank you.
Now, I understand before you got your lash store, right, you was a lash artist, correct?
I was.
How many years were you a lash artist before you went into the supply?
So I started in 2015 is when I started lashing. It's when I started Lash Print as well. And I focused on services first. Of course, we all start with services for the most part. And then I started selling supplies in 2017, I believe it was. And I more so just was selling what I was using. And I would get other lash techs who were waiting on an Amazon package or waiting on a package from another company come into my door like, hey, do you have any extra trays or do you have lash glue that you could sell to me? And it just started from there. I was like, well, I have my lash glue that I purchased for myself, but because I got so many people that just needed those last minute supplies, I was like, I might as well start a supply store. So I started in the space that I was working in. And that was, like I say, back in 2017. And we grew to what you see today in 2023.
Right. And 2023, it's beautiful. Yes. And you see how it takes, you know, it's a process to get there. It didn't come overnight. No. And overnight success is something I speak about. It's in my mentor books. It's in my motivational books. Like it's something, it's in my calendar. It's like overnight success is what a lot of people looking for because they watching social media.
Absolutely.
And it sidetracks your mind. So when you're looking for overnight success, you're thinking everything's supposed to happen the next day or 2-3 days later, and it doesn't happen like that. So
I always tell people, especially when they come in the store and they ask questions like, how did you get here? I always say to people, we can't talk about my year 10, right? We can't talk about today, but I could definitely go back to the very beginning and talk about year 1, because it's those founding foundations that prepare you for everything there is to come. So even when you're looking at people on social media, you're admiring them and where they are today, a lot of times it's the conversation of how they started that really is what you need to hear to get you going. Because when you find the basis of what you do, if you keep doing that and remain consistent, it will grow.
Right. That's right. And that's why I tell entrepreneurs all the time, when you're looking at somebody and you're idolizing them, check the root.
Yeah.
You want to check the root.
The roots. Absolutely.
When you checking and picking from the root, that's where it's grew from.
That's where
so that motivates you even more, because you see the background of where this entrepreneur came from or how they began and got started. And everybody began as a worker.
Yes.
Because a lot of people now in society think that, oh, I got to be a boss first. No, baby. You have to be a worker first in order to become a boss, because it's levels to this thing.
And when you become a boss, you're still a worker, because you work for your workers.
What?
You work for your workers. So many people want this title of being a boss, and they tap into being a diva, but you become a worker for your employees, because truth is, as your team grow, you have to serve them now, right? So you go from serving customers to serving your staff. Right. And that's very key to understand.
I love that. And nobody's going to put in the work that you're going to put in the work for your company.
Absolutely.
I don't care how many people come in and be like, oh, you can go home today. I got this.
Absolutely.
I don't care what CEO. Nobody's going to run your business like you. And that's one thing I learned. The hard way, not the easy way. I learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
Baby, nobody's going to love your baby like you.
No.
So if this business is your baby, you don't want to leave your baby in anyone else's hands.
Absolutely.
You want to birth that baby all the way up.
Absolutely.
And when you birth that baby all the way up, you can't do nothing but, watch it continue to grow in the way that you want it to grow.
Absolutely.
So that's very, 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 very important for you guys. I hope you guys got your pens, your papers, and you're jotting down all of this information, because we're dropping nothing but gems today on the hottest podcast in the city for entrepreneurs and winning women in Atlanta, all over. I mean, I'm not just going to just put Atlanta, because I got women from all over flying in to be on the podcast, but it's a lot of women in Atlanta that's winning it. I think we're one of the top states, Atlanta, DC,
Houston is one.
Houston, where African-American women is like winning it. It's killing the industry for entrepreneurship. So, you really have to just keep pushing and keep going.
Yeah.
How did you, when you first opened your lash store, did you offer any like trainings or anything, or you just strictly went into selling supplies first?
So I started out with services, and then I went into trainings. I trained touring for about 3 years. I went from city to city, and I've hosted so many classes. And then once I seen the supplies starting to grow aggressively, I kind of retired from servicing and scaled back from training to focus more so on the e-commerce portion, because that was a totally different beast. Like, it was a learning curve for me. It's one thing with services, because as the clients show up, it's just you that you have to worry about. But when you get into e-commerce, you got shipping, marketing, ads, you have content. So there was so many different other elements that I was like, whoa, okay, I think I'm a little in over my head. But once I've, kind of found ground, I'm ready to get back to training. I'm ready to get back to services. Our supply store is doing amazing.
That's nice.
The girls love it. They come in day to day. They're able to conveniently get their supplies. And yeah, that's how I started. I went from service to training to supplies.
Right. And you say you retired now for lashing.
I retired from actually lashing, correct.
So would you actually see yourself training up lash techs and offer an area in your supply store to allow them to take clients in? Or would you just prefer to keep it, it's just you, your supply store, and your staff?
Well, we have 2 locations. So we have the supply store, and then we have a studio and academy where we actually offer services and trainings. The supply store is specifically for supplies. It's literally a home for lash artists where they can go and shop their needs and receive the attention and ask questions that they need about products. The vision with that store was to be just that. No services, no training, no interruption, just the lash artists being able to walk into this store and find all the supplies they need readily available on hand.
Amazing.
All right. So for services and training, we do have a studio and academy where we offer services and we offer trainings. And you can find all of that on our website at lashprint.com.
Love it. Can you give any key pointers to, any, I wouldn't just say lash artists, any entrepreneurs beginning in their career to help them keep going, to motivate them, to help them keep striving? What key pointers, like if I give you like three key pointers, what three key pointers could you actually give them?
The very first thing I would say is find your passion, because passion is going to show up for you when nothing else does. We all get into a business or whatever it is about money because we want stability, we want freedom. But the thing is, at the end of the day, if you love what you do, even on those days where it's really challenging, it's a lot easier to get out of bed for something that you
Right.
love versus that you hate.
Ooh.
Right?
Yes.
So I would definitely say finding passion, finding something that you have a passion for. For me, it was entrepreneur. I love everything business. So whether it was servicing, training, or supplies, e-commerce, I love business. I love everything about it. It's very easy for me to get up every day and find something. The second thing I would say is consistency. You have to remain consistent even on the days that you don't feel like it, right? It's so hard and it's so challenging. But if you set a schedule for yourself, you plan out your day each day, and you just keep a plan and remain consistent, I guarantee you something is going to fall through. They say faith without work is dead. You got to do the work.
And they say favor ain't fair.
No. Right? But truth is, you have to do the work and you have to have the faith to do it. So consistency. Right. And the very last thing that I would say would be educating. Self-educating is so key. No shade to the ebooks, no shade to trainings or any of that. But at the end of the day, you still have to do your own research, right? Yes. An ebook is good to give you a nugget to send you in a direction. But the legwork and research is what's really going to fine tune and groom you for what it is that you need to continue moving forward. So I would just say self-educating. It's cool to have an ebook, read a book, have a mentor, but how are you self-educating yourself with information needed to keep going forward?
That's so true. And I hope you guys wrote all of this down because she gave y'all the top 3 key pointers, because a lot of people think I'm just going to take a class and boom, I'm going to give me a suite and I'm going to boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to give me a cute logo and I'm going to take off. Baby, no, it's more than the cute logo. It's more than, making content. You have to really love what you do and want to take it to the next level. And you got to continue to not just take the training that you learned, but you got to continue to educate yourself, as you said.
Absolutely.
Like, education is key. Like, I remember when I first started permanent makeup, I started from 1 certification to now I have 54 in permanent makeup. That's well over 200K in training classes. I tell my students. So it takes money to make money.
True.
And also too, reading is fundamental. Even when I train students, even when I, educate, mentor, manual, I can read over this manual with you, but you take this and you study it yourself. Because you can't take me with you, but you can take this manual with you. So go ahead and pick my brain and get everything out of me while you can right now.
And write it down so you can go back and reflect on it, right?
Yeah.
I'm big on writing everything down. Half of the time I have my iPad, 2 phones, and I'm going from note to note. So just writing information down is very critical, but you have to self-educate. It's only so much that you can extract from a training class, from an ebook, from a book that you're actually reading, from social media. You have to be able to not only comprehend it, but put it into effect, right? Right. Because you can read that ebook and do nothing with it.
Yep.
Are you actually exercising what it is that you're reading or you're bringing in or pouring into yourself? So self-education is key. You have to have self-drive.
Yep, that's 100% correct, because a lot of people think, oh, I can just buy this ebook and this is her guide to everything that she did to get to this level. No, baby. Yeah. They're just giving you pointers to use.
Absolutely.
And everybody be like, start an ebook and tell us how to open up a school. I'll be lying if I put this in the it's something that can't be wrote out.
Right.
It took a lot of faith, hard work, and dedication to get to this level. Like,
absolutely.
So I can't sit here and lie and say that I can put the steps in the ebook for you. I mean, I can give you some ideas and pointers, but can I give you the whole? No, because in building and businesses, things like that. Like even before I got this business, I had to get voted into the neighborhood to even get accepted in to do what I'm doing.
And these are the things that people don't talk about.
Understand. And that's why, I have the podcast to let people know entrepreneurs that's when like we go through things to get to a certain level, but a lot of things are hidden. And I want to show the world like, hey, this is really real, and if I'm willing to tell my story, then the next entrepreneur that come on tell their story, and we got nothing but motivation for the next person.
Absolutely.
And it's somebody that's watching or listening that be like, man, this just motivated me to keep pushing, because they might have been building a lash store. They might have been building a nail shop and they're waiting on permits to come in. They haven't got approved for 6 months. And it's okay, but don't give up. Trust the process. That's one of the things you want to do.
Absolutely.
You always got to trust the process and know that, anything you go through in life is for a reason. Everything you go through is for, a reason.
Yeah. And social media tends to make things look like it happened overnight.
Yes.
Like even building out our supply store here in city of Atlanta, that took me a full year before I was actually able to open the doors, and a lot of times people give you the highlight reel of their journey, but they don't go into the details of contracting, finding the right contractors, permitting, going back and forth to the city. No, you have to fix that. No, this wire is wrong.
Right.
Nope, this panel needs to be changed. Nope, this socket is in the wrong place. A lot of people don't talk about those things, but it is all a part of the journey. And I can honestly say I've cried many nights.
Yes.
So when you see the looking good and the face beat and the designer, just know a lot of tears came behind it. And that's the story that I always like to tell people. Even throughout my mentorships, I believe more in a hands-on mentor versus a virtual mentor. A lot of people take mentorship online or through Zoom. Me personally, I always tell people, in order for me to mentor you, you gotta get out here in the field.
You have to.
You have to be out here in the field. It's only so much I can tell you on a slideshow.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's so, so true.
Yeah.
And I often, as an entrepreneur, people always ask, oh, yeah, so you got all this and you got all that. And I say, in the midst of me growing and building and elevating and escalating, I said, I remain humble.
Yes.
Because the Bible speaks, those who remain humble, God will exalt. So that's why I remain humble in anything that, I'm doing in life. Like, because the same God that gave it to me can take it from me. Absolutely. So I don't let no one, I don't get the high horse for no one.
Yeah.
I remain the same person. You can see me in the mall, you see me in the grocery store, I'm that same person.
Absolutely.
And I don't train students, and I done met other people in the industry back and forth to where, dang, I can walk past them. They be like, they didn't even know me. And I'll be like, what's going on? What's the issue?
Yeah.
And it's some people just don't understand that high horse, he will bring you down if you don't remain humble.
Every time.
So the humbleness in business, entrepreneurship is very, very important.
Yeah. Along with just doing good business.
Yep. Doing amazing business and relationships, because you never know whose shoulders you're gonna brush across again.
Absolutely.
I tell people that all the time. Like, don't cross paths with people and you want to create fake beef, or you don't want to jump in a lane that's not your lane. Like, stay in your lane and focus on you. And that's how you grow. That's how you elevate. That's how you be different from the next person.
Yeah. It's more than enough for everybody out here. I always, when I give training classes, tell my students, there are billions of people in this world.
Billions.
You can't service billions of people.
It's impossible.
You can't train billions of people.
You can't even do a million of people. Right? It's impossible.
There's an audience for you, and just focus on that. Right? At the end of the day, focus on your focus.
And focus on your focus. But a lot of people look at idols now.
Yeah.
And we're in a world where people idol this person. Oh, I want to idol because they hang with this. Atlanta is real cliquish.
Girl.
They say, they always say, I don't see you on this platform. I don't see you on this platform. I don't see you on this platform. And I used to say the same thing to my mom. I said, you know what, Mom? They right. They don't never see me on those platforms.
I never get an invite.
I never get an invite. She said, because God don't want you to sit at that table, baby.
Yes.
He got another table for you. And I be like, Mom, you're right. You're right. That's why I ain't at that table, because you got something else for me.
Yes.
So when he got something else for you, he's working up something that's, specifically and specially for you. And
Absolutely.
Nobody can control it. Nobody can take, anything that he has planned for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even when it feels like no one sees you, they see you.
They see.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in the mall, I'm in the airport, I've been in other countries, and people are like, they don't even know my name. They just know you're Lash Primp. You're the girl that owns Lash
They don't
Primp.
know my name. Yeah. You're browsing me. I be like, yeah, that's the company.
So people see you. You can post something, get no likes, get very little views. People see you. Keep going. Stay consistent. They see you.
They see you, right?
They see you.
I love it. Now, as a lash artist, or having a lash supply store, I'm sorry, not artist, but having a supply store, how is the competition here? Is it very competitive, or is it?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I am a lash artist. I'm a lash artist by blood. I love it. I'll always be. At some point, I probably will come out of retirement because it's therapy to me. But to answer your question, as a supply store, honestly, up until maybe recent, it wasn't very competitive for me.
Really?
I will share that one of the things that made it very consistent for me was I actually had set business hours. So not many people had to call me and schedule to come by the shop. I literally, even when I was in an office space, have always had set business hours.
Right.
Just implementing things that I seen in a Target or a Walmart. I wanted to be on this level. So I would study larger corporations and how they structured their business. And I put those things into my business. You do see more lash supply stores here in the city of Atlanta, especially over the last year or two. But for a good while, and I was located in the Chamblee area, it was just Lash Print. We were rocking and the girls were coming.
Wow.
So yeah, it's competitive anywhere, right? If you think about it, for every McDonald's, there's a Burger King not too far by, right? But it's not about the competition of it. It's all about the problem that you solve to your customer. That's the thing that I like to focus on. So with Lash Print, we like to solve problems for our customers. And one of the ways we do that is we offer local delivery up to a 100-mile radius of our store. So if you're working, you got 10 clients for the day, but you need lash glue and lash trays at the last minute, guess what? You can go to our website, schedule. Our drivers will be out to you within an hour or two, and you have your products to finish working.
I love it.
So that's our goal, is to continuously solve a problem for other lash artists here in the city.
Right. Love it. One thing I do want to ask is, how was 2023 for you as a entrepreneur?
Ooh, it was hard. Just being fully transparent. It was very hard. A lot of times as an entrepreneur, outside of dealing with the business side of things, you still have a personal life, right?
Right.
And you have things that go on outside of business. So for me, 2023 was very challenging, but I learned a lot. I call it my evolution year because I began to reinvent myself again. I'm a firm believer in reinventing yourself every 10 years. So yeah, I just feel like it was that year, like, okay, girl, it's time to step it up. So I'm just ready for 2024 and everything that it has to bring. 2023 came, it went, I saw, I conquered, and yeah, what's next?
Right. What is one good thing that you did accomplish in 2023 though? Like something that I'd be like, I've been working on this for years and I accomplished it. It's done, because I got something this year I accomplished and I'm like, dang, I done it. I did it. Like, I can't believe I was trying to pay people to do something I could do myself, So what is something that you can say 2023, I accomplished it?
Getting in front of the camera.
Wow, really?
Sitting here talking to you. That has been a constant battle for me. Like I said, I'm very closed off, introverted, and I'm an open person. When we start talking, I love to have fun. You're gonna laugh. I'm a funny person, but just naturally, it has been a learning curve to get in front of this camera and actually talk about what it is that I do. So many people know the brand, but they didn't know me personally, and that's probably one of my greatest accomplishments this year, is that I began to speak on panels. I began to become more vocal about the brand, and you're just able to see more of me outside of just Lash Print. So I'm really excited about giving more of that in 2024.
Love that. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs always, I'm glad you said that, speaking on panels. How did you start speaking on panels? Did you email, that people start reaching out, that you get a publicist? Because I was looking at ads the other day and people was posting, oh, once your brand gets to a certain extent, get a publicist. And, and I done work with multiple publicists and they can't do what I done did for this baby. So
listen,
I will go back and forth. Hey, the publicist, because they got multiple clients.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is my baby. So until I got that thing built up to the way I want it to be, I'm not letting up. And that's how it is for 2024. Like, I've been getting content together, dropping shoes, like 2024, because I really felt like 2023, the best thing that I ever did was believe in me.
Yes.
And believe that I could actually do it.
Yeah.
And believe that honestly, I'm the one that motivate me.
Yeah.
I'm the one that can help me keep growing, keep striving. And, the most challenging part of ours to realize, like, God, you did this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You did this because, in the beginning, getting caught up with, how training money comes in fast, classes, clients. I had started, I'm not scared. Camera, y'all tell you, anybody. I started getting caught up in that life to where, okay, it's just gonna obviously keep coming in.
Right.
And God had to start slowing me down for me to realize, like, I'm the one that gave you all of this.
Right.
So is you gonna trust me and idol me, or are you gonna trust and idol, all the other things that's, of the world?
Right.
And I was like, dang. And this year I also went to school to become an aesthetics instructor, with Paul Mitchell. So I just graduated from that November. And, all along I'm like, thank you so much. All along, like, I could just pay an instructor to be here for my aesthetic school, and God's like, no, you gonna do it. And I was like, who going to school for that long? And he showed me, I will slow you down and put you in the position I want you to be so you can trust me.
Yeah. And
that's what I did this year. I went to school and I got another degree under my belt. And that was an accomplishment that I honestly, everybody tell you, like, for me to completely really close my business down during the daytime and take one client every now and then at night, like, I really, 2023, I would really say business was closed because I was focused on school. Yeah. Because I needed this degree, because I know where I want to take the company to. I know where I want to take the brand to. Right. So, but God say, I'm going to send you to school to do it. You're not going to pay anyone.
And that's important, actually, for all of us as entrepreneurs, right? I think the number one thing that entrepreneurs struggle with when growing their business and hiring is that they don't have the knowledge to delegate the task.
That's right.
So by you becoming an instructor and understanding that, now when you hire an instructor, you have the knowledge. Right? You're not just putting a body there and saying, hey, this is what I need you to do. You have the knowledge, you have the information, and now you have the vision. So you know exactly what you want to see in your instructor. Right. So absolutely, God will sit us down, because there have been plenty of times where I've had to go back to Workforce EDU to learn about where it was I was trying to go. Right. So that's a blessing in itself. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very huge.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I would say I see myself having multiple lash supply stores.
Would it be in different states or just in Atlanta?
Different states. So we have already begun to scout outside of Atlanta, outside of the state of Georgia, for locations. But getting more into training, I stepped away from training to build out the supply store and the e-commerce side. But I love training. And I feel like there's so much information that's just still missing, raw information that's not shared. Everybody buy into the glam of things and what looks pretty on the outside. I like to actually teach the blood, sweat, and tears of the process and what goes into becoming. So I want to get back to that, because that's where I have a great passion at, is teaching.
Right. And that's where I found myself. And that's why I honestly realized, I was like, God, like, for me to go back to school and me teaching, like, how am I going to be able to go state to state with my classes? And he simply showed me, I shut every registration down in every city. And I'll show you, you're going to go to school. You're going to get what I need you to get. And now, since I've graduated, it's like he's opened the floodgates back up. And my mom said that God needed you to do one thing, and you stayed and you honored and you did exactly what he wanted you to do.
Absolutely.
And I was like, Mom, it's like clients coming in, students coming in, overflow coming in. She was like, because you did exactly what he wanted you to.
You were obedient, as my grandmother told me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely. Yeah. I definitely was. And even though it was something I found myself thought I couldn't do.
Yeah.
I can do.
Absolutely.
And that's always a big pusher. Can comes before it can't.
Absolutely.
So you always want, I can do this, you know, because I was thinking I was too busy, you know, with my facility or with clients to where I can't go to school. And God said, if you don't believe it, I'll slow you all the way down. And that's exactly what he did. But in the midst of that, I didn't lose my faith. I didn't lose my trust in him. And I didn't lose anything I got. He showed me I'll simply supply all of your needs according to my riches and glories, you know, and that's exactly what he did for my brand. And I thank God for it. I thank God for the, you know, the licensing now. I thank God for the elevation he about to take me to, but I just know it's something bigger on the way. And you know how you can feel it before it comes? Like, I feel it. Like, I'm like, God, it's time to spike this show up. It's time. And I always, when I'm on my podcast, I always don't just speak of podcast, I speak of show, because God showed me a bigger platform. He put me in a smaller place to get me in a place to where I'm uncomfortable in. Because obviously when you get in life, you get in places where you're comfortable and you're like, oh, okay, I'm cool with this. I ain't moving, I ain't going nowhere. But when you get in a zone where you're uncomfortable, it pushes something out of you. Like,
that's my favorite place to be.
I gotta work harder. I gotta go harder. I want more. I want more. Like, discipline me. Show me my next steps. Like, lead me, guide me. Like, that's how it's been. Like,
absolutely.
This year, 23 has been a testing year.
Yeah.
But it's also been a year of faith.
Yeah.
Faith and favor is what I learned.
And it's amazing that you're doing this, because I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we find ourselves on an island and alone in this journey, and sitting down with other entrepreneurs and having the opportunity to talk and listen to what they're going through. It's crazy, and they call it toxic bonding, but sometimes we kind of need that, because it helps us understand that we're not the only ones going through it, right?
Right.
And you find yourself on this island until you hear someone else talk, and you're like, man, this is really a part of the journey.
Yes.
Like, I don't feel so bad right now. Not that I'm happy, but I don't feel so bad right now. I feel like a lot of times these conversations need to be had, and I really appreciate you creating this platform, because it has to be said that we all go through this journey, and every year is not going to be a up year. Every year won't be that.
And I love that. I love that you said that, because I'm always on that. I'm like, a lot of people think that every year you're supposed to, you know, in business, that's why it's a profit and it's a loss statement. And you're going to have your year you profit, and you're going to have a year you lost.
Right.
A lot of us, because I sat down with a lot of business owners this year, and I was, a lot of people lost this year. Yeah. But did they lose their faith is one thing I realized. Now, some people I talked to lost their faith, and I had to inspire them, keep pushing, keep going. It was like I needed that push, you know? And one thing I like is my mom. Like, my mother, she keeps me going. She keeps me pushing. Like, she keeps me striving. She's like, no matter what you're doing in life, keep going, keep pushing. Like, even if it's not a couple of 100,000 that's coming in, you know, if it's 20, 30,000, you still have to trust the process and know that everything you're going through is for a reason. And everything in life that you're going through is not for long seasons, because seasons change. Yeah. And she was like, it's something seasonal. Yeah. And God is changing this season. He's changing a lot of things. A lot of people, he's shaking things up. And I'd be like, thank you, Mom. I needed that talk. And then I'll go back in the car, I break down crying, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna walk in there and do this, you know? But, you know, when you so many years, you're right. 2020 woke us up to it. Woo, everybody's getting a bag. You know, people spending unlimited money, you know. And it went like, it's like, God, this year showed us like, dang, woo. What's next? Like,
you know, I feel like this year really showed those who hustle and those who run a business. Because if you hustle, you probably got it hard this year, because it wasn't free money out here. It wasn't free fall. But if you actually run a business, strategically planning, budgeting, it definitely was a challenge, and you were tested, but you're standing like, okay, I got this. I can really ride this roller coaster. So 2023 was definitely a year of learning, like we said.
Yeah.
It was
It
an
was
emotional roller coaster.
It was very emotional. I mean, very emotional. And, I'm glad I can honestly say, like, hey, we're in December.
Yeah.
This the end of it.
We made it.
So that means God's been opening up 2024
Yes.
for the people who believed and trusted him.
Yes.
He's going to open up a different category for everyone that believed and trusted him through this year. And that's why as I started scrolling down my timeline, as me doing this mentoring, this motivational, this winning Wednesday, this motivational podcast, God say, I want to use you in this direction. Everybody is going here. I want you to go here.
Yeah.
And they was like, it's easy for you to get on here. You got a big platform. It's easy for you to get celebrities, influencers to talk about drama, things that are going on over the world. But who's talking about positive? Right. Who's motivating? Right. Who's inspiring the next person?
Absolutely.
And he's like, if you stay in the lane that I want you to be in, and my mom clearly said this to me. She said, he got somewhere special he wants you to go.
Yeah.
And she said, you did this all year. So she said, it's your reaping season.
Absolutely. You sowed that seed.
I did. That's why I said it started from the root. Like I couldn't get it right away. But, everybody ain't disciplined to do that many episodes and, not make $1 from it yet or not make a percentage or not, get any brand advertising.
Yeah.
It's really came from a lot of hard work, dedication, and a lot of faith, like believing, like.
But the thing is, no one would know that but you.
Yeah.
Because you are killing it.
Thank you. But see, the thing in me, I'm not scared to tell the next person, because everybody make everything look good.
Yes.
It's easy to whoop up a cake and make it look good on the outside. But when you cut that thing on the inside, what does it look like?
Right. Absolutely.
And that's how my mom clearly says, no matter what, God's checking you for your heart.
Yeah.
He's not checking you how your body's built, how your face looks.
Yep.
He's coming for your heart.
Absolutely.
Your heart. So she's like, build your business up on that. Mm-hmm. It's coming for what's on the inside, not what's on the outside.
Absolutely.
So she said, no matter who you train, what you produce, she said, he's coming for what's on they're coming inside of your business. Mm-hmm. They like the brows that you do. Yeah. They like the services you do. They like your customer service. They like all those things. So that's what's going to make you stand out from the next person.
Every single
So that's
time.
been my motivation to help me keep going and keep pushing,
Yeah.
And I love, like I said, I love everything that you're doing. I'm glad you came today on Winning Wednesdays. And you're excellent. When I tell you, I don't interview a lot. You're an excellent speaker. I love you. Definitely for the things I got coming up in 2024, definitely going to be a panelist. I love it.
I would be
because, you can get people in and everybody can't talk to you. You just constantly keep asking the same questions.
I understand.
And, but you really educated,
I'm honored. And what's crazy? Because I think maybe like my second or third year of lashing, when you first reached out to me to do your lashes, mm-hmm. I was already a fan. Like I'm one person who is never afraid to be a fangirl. If someone is killing it and they're doing their thing, hey, I'm all for it. And that was like one of the highlights of my career. I was like, Brows and Beauty want me to do her lashes. I was so excited. And just continuing to see you grow over the years has definitely been an inspiration to me as well. Just watching you, like, literally everything you put out, I'm like, she goes hard. I gotta come with it. Like, and not even on a competition thing, right. But just straight inspiration.
Motivation. Yes, that's why I say
absolutely.
Motivation. Everybody sometimes look at, us being in the lane as a competition. Yeah. No. It's motivation.
Yes.
Stop looking at the next Black girl as competition.
Yeah.
Look at collaboration with that next girl. Absolutely. Because we can make more together than separate.
Yeah.
That's a biggie I speak about all the time. People like, oh, everybody look at what you got already and they're intimidated by you. I said, but they don't know my heart because they haven't reached out. Like a lot of people like, I wanted you on the panel, but I was scared to reach out to you because I know you was going to charge this much. Little you know the heart that I have. Baby, I'm going to give it to you anyways, because guess what?
Yeah.
I ain't looking for nothing back from you. God's going to reward me for coming in and giving this education and giving these tips to these entrepreneurs that need it. They need real. Because the world is giving so much fake and so much, I put it together, and so much Instagram or, I meet people all the time like, oh, I seen such and such on Instagram and, I seen their work and it's really not their work. A lot of things are cropped, edited now. A lot of things are not authentic.
They're
not real.
Highlight reels. They're highlight reels.
I like authentic and I like real,
Absolutely.
And that's why I say I was doing my podcast, nothing but motivation, inspiration, women that I know that that's really getting it,
Yeah.
you know, that really can inspire the next entrepreneur. It's easy to get a big influencer or celebrity in here, but if they're going to tell you really how they got it,
Yeah.
if they're going to inspire the next person,
Yeah.
you know, or the next person is just going to idol them by being that face. And I don't want no one to say, oh, she had this person on here, this is what blew her podcast up. No. God, that ain't what God wanted me to do this year. He didn't want me, even though it's easy. He wanted me to show the real entrepreneurship of winning women. Like, and it's a lot of women.
It's a lot of us. It's a lot of us out here.
It's a lot.
And I appreciate you again for shedding light on that, because it is a lot of us. And I think a lot of them are hitting behind the more popular faces.
Right.
And you know, they're there, no shade to them, but it's some women out here that are really getting it. Blood, sweat, and tears, built ground up. And those women definitely need the same platform and opportunity to speak and be heard. So what you're doing is amazing. Because
those are the ones that real entrepreneurs or real business women can get inspired by, not just the hustler. You real, you know, like you said, having your strategy together, business, relationship goals. Like, what am I gonna do once I make this first 20,000?
Right.
You know, am I gonna go buy this shoe or this bag? No. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna flip it and I'm turning it into 40. Or I'm gonna flip it and turn it into 60. You know, but that's in Atlanta. You know how it is. It's appearance. You know,
appearance.
If she got on the latest bag and shoe, she get more than the next person. That's what you think. But you don't know what us entrepreneurs are willing to sacrifice and take, and you know. To help us grow and go to that next level.
Absolutely.
So it was a pleasure having you today on Bossing Up with Lex, of course, Winning Wednesdays. And I make sure you guys follow Online with Rima, of course, Rima Johnson. And that's the wrap today.
Thank you.